Well, good morning, friends. It's Crazy Cheap Chick, and I'm going to show you the bargains I found from, I don't know, the last time I went shopping was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the reason I haven't been shopping or posting many videos is because my mom died. And so it's a hard time for me. And I will show you these bargains that I found a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. My mom was in the hospital 3 weeks before she died, and she was never left alone. That entire time she was in the hospital, a family member was always with her. We stayed overnight with her. She was greatly loved, and she died in our arms. She literally died in our arms. Anyway, it's a hard time for me. And I will show you these bargains, but they're from a while back. The last time I made a video of going grocery shopping or Goodwill was before she went in the hospital, so it's old. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you some stories about my mom. She was a really special person, not just because she was my mom, but she just had a really unique, fun, loving personality that people were attracted to. So if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you some stories about my mom. Well, friends, I spent $138.32 pre-tax, and $24.99 of it was these protein shakes. Isn't that ridiculous how much those things cost? 12-pack, $24.99. If you took that out, it would be $113.33 for the rest of the food. And I got a ton of food. We're going to eat really well and pretty healthy this week. But let's run through it. I always start with the full price stuff first, because my goal, if you're new to my channel, is to spend as little full price as I can. And that's why I've got to find a new source for these. I need to run out to Sam's Club and see if they're cheaper there or if I can find them online cheaper, because it was expensive. Milk, $1.89 here in Topeka, Kansas. Half and half, $5.79. Crazy expensive. Then I did buy these frozen sweet potatoes for $2.24, and I bought one package of rice for $1.50. Now, if you watch me, you know I'm trying so hard to lose weight, and I have lost 9 pounds. And I'm doing it by doing high protein, low carb. I try to keep it over 100 grams of protein a day. That's those milkshakes, and under 100 carbs. And so that means very little rice or potatoes, but we are eating a little bit. These grapes, I think they were on sale. $3.18 for this amount of grapes. I think they were $1.99 a pound. $1.04 for these organic bananas. I don't normally buy organic. I wish I could afford to buy organic. And the only reason I did today is because all of the bananas looked horrible. And I heard the people in the store, the employees, talking about the banana problem. And also, about half the packages of grapes were moldy. And so I really had to pick through those. So they're having some kind of issues. I did buy 2 sweet potatoes. We eat sweet potatoes every week. It was $2.20 for these 2 sweet potatoes and $2.29 for these frozen ones. So obviously it's a lot less expensive to buy them and cook them yourself. But you know, sometimes you're just tired, and if you don't have an easy meal, you're going to resort to going through a drive-through. At least I will. I know that about myself. And so to counteract it, I have to have some things that I can cook that I know are really easy. We've been eating a lot of cottage cheese on this low-carb diet. I like cottage cheese, and I am finding there is a ton of stuff you can make with it. It was on sale for $2 a container. And look at that, 13 grams of protein per serving, and a serving is considered half a cup. So a lot of times people will say to me, oh, how in the world can you get 100 grams of protein a day? That's hard. Well, you get one of these shakes. One of these shakes has 30 grams. And you eat a cup of cottage cheese. That's 26 grams. It adds up pretty fast, actually. Then I got some sour cream. It was $2. And they had a ton of snacks on the clearance rack today. And since my poor mama is in the hospital, We've had a lot of people at the hospital, a lot of family. We never leave my poor mama alone. She's in the hospital, so one of us is always there. When you want a snack while you're there at the hospital, what are you going to do? Go to a vending machine? It's cheaper and probably healthier just to bring your snacks with you. So they had this popcorn on sale. It was $2.50 a package. One's called Himalayan Pink and one's Himalayan Gold. They're not really that bad on the calories, but they do have a lot of carbs. And since I'm trying to limit carbs, I can't eat a lot of it, but I can eat some. And of course, I'll share it with my daughters and sisters and anyone else that's there. This was actually a sale price on these non-dippers. Really, my diet is very little pasta, very little bread, very little sugar, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, and meat. But I do allow myself these little dippers occasionally because I love them. These kidney beans were $1 a can. That's what they always are. Not a sale price, just a regular price. And they had one of those buy 5 of a whole ton of stuff, get $1 off. But you had to buy at least 5 out of the list. Well, soup was one of them. And when we come home from the hospital, after being at the hospital all day, this was probably one of my better deals. This Zatarain's, I think, is normally like $4.99. And they had buy one, get one free, and they were $3.99. So one should have rang up $3.99 and one should have been free, but I also had a $2 off coupon that took. So one rang up $1.99 and one of them rang up $0. These were $1.99. They were also part of the get $1 off deal. And I got this uncured honey ham for $3.89. The broth, this is regular price on this, I believe, $1.49. I can get this cheaper at Aldi's or even Walmart, but I don't want to run to 3 different stores this week, and so I just bought it at Dillon's. This little salad was $1.80. We're going to eat this for lunch today. I've gotten away from buying any bagged salads. They just kind of scare me. There's always a ton of recalls on them. These sugar snap peas were $2.92. Then this was more on the clearance rack. These crazy queso corn chips were 88 cents. These Wicked Mini snacking crackers, they show them on chili, were $1.40, but they must have been part of that $1 off deal because they rang up for 40 cents each. So I got 2 of these for 40 cents each. I bought 4 things of yogurt. They were 40 cents each. Then this little mini, probably not 2 apples in here, $1.80, but they're individually packaged apples. These are great hospital snacks for when we're visiting mom. Right here's my best deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of Starbucks coffee. It was reduced to $2.80. They all rang up for $1.80. Coffee is so expensive right now. Snap it up when it's on sale or clearance. I don't see it going down anytime soon. I love pimento cheese. This was $2.70. I eat it with apples. And then I found a couple of more little snacks on the clearance rack for $1.12. These are Rice Crisps. Also kind of high carb, but they're not too bad on calories. And these are just snacks for the hospital. Several red net bags. This apples, $1.50. A big bag of avocados for $1.50. This bag of avocados for $1.50. Another bag of apples for $1.50. A bag of potatoes for $1.50. That's enough potatoes for us for a couple of weeks. Also had these cherry tomatoes marked down to 99 cents. And this little snack tray was marked down to $2.25. Now this is one of my tips. Football is huge in Kansas because of the Kansas City Chiefs. And they put together all kinds of party trays at my Dillon's, probably at yours too, if you have a team that they support. And after the game, the next day, all those trays are marked down to practically nothing. And I didn't want any of those trays, but I did pick up this one because I thought, oh, I'll take that up to the hospital. and we can all have a little snack that's a little healthier than rice cakes. But I always like to do my shopping on Monday mornings. I think maybe they don't have someone who marks down on Sundays. It always feels like I get a whole lot more clearance food on Monday morning than any other day of the week. I don't know if it's true. That's my perception. And a lot of it, I think, especially on certain items, has a lot to do with them really packing it up for the weekend, especially when there's going to be a game. And then anything that doesn't sell that's already prepackaged like this, they've got to get rid of. Then I found this choice beef top round, $16.66. It had been $26.04. So $10 savings there. I felt like this might have been one of my better deals too. There's 5 individually wrapped chicken breasts in here. $3.15. And let's see, how many pounds is that? Oh, and that's 1.5 pounds. So that's pretty cheap. They had 2 of them. I like it that they're individually wrapped. It's so easy to freeze them. All right, so what are we going to eat this week? Since we're going to be at the hospital so much, I need super easy meals. So what I'm going to do is tonight I'm going to throw this in the crock pot, probably put some potatoes and onions around it. We'll probably have baked chicken breast one night with either these sweet potatoes. One night we'll probably have chicken breast with these sweet potatoes, only cooked a little bit different. I am going to have rice one night. I have been using riced cauliflower, which is okay. It's great for dieting. But my sister said, take a package of this rice and mix it with the riced cauliflower. And she said it kind of makes it a little bit better. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try putting my riced cauliflower with this rice and see if I like it better or not. It's kind of, that riced cauliflower becomes just kind of a filler. I'm going to make chili. That's why I got the beans. And there will probably be enough roast left over to make the chili. I've already got everything else I need. And we'll try these snacking crackers or these queso chips on there, these corn chips on there. And when I make chili, it usually lasts a couple of days. I also got this broth, this vegetable broth, thinking I would probably make maybe like a chicken tortilla soup. I'm also going to make some ham and cheese sandwiches one night with probably a little side of something, maybe cottage cheese. I don't know. I am finding as I get further and further into my diet, I really don't need to eat as much as I think I do. Like my grandson said, your mouth always says yes, but your stomach says I'm full. You need to listen to your stomach. So a 7-year-old told me that, and I believe him. Sometimes I take this andouille sausage. It would be good with some pasta, and I have some low-carb pasta. I also like to chop it up and put it with cabbage, and I make this fried cabbage and sausage dish. So I know I've got plenty of food to last all week. The most important thing is to make it easy on yourself so you'll actually make it. And I'm down 9 pounds, but I'm kind of stuck. So I really, really want to stick to it this week, despite all the things that are going on in my life, including my broken foot. Spent $36.65 at Goodwill, about the usual amount, and I was happy with some of the stuff I got. If you donate things to my Goodwill, they give you a receipt with a 15% off coupon on it. And so on Tuesdays, they have a 15% senior discount that I qualify for. But this wasn't on a Tuesday, so I had to use the coupon. But I did find this round tablecloth, which I was really happy about. And after the discount, it was $4.20. Then I got 2 shirts. After the discount, they were each $5.05. And nothing special about them, just kind of around the house shirts. But for $5, you can't go wrong. I really like this one. I got 2 pillows. Now I have to sneak these in because I have so many pillows, and John Wayne's starting to get frustrated with me. But this is going to match my bedroom. I'm in the midst of a bedroom remodel. And I'm doing browns and cream colors and whites, and these are going to match perfectly. And you can tell these were like some high quality pillows. And I spent, they were $2.99 after the discount. They were $2.55 each. So I got 2 pillows for about $5. And they had some cute little decorator items like this right here. And they had it marked $6.25 after the discount. It was $5.32. They had this little container. Usually they have these little Pyrex containers marked so high that they mark them higher than they cost brand new. But this one, for some reason, they had marked $2.25, and after the discount, it was $1.92. Because, you know, I am Midwest rich, which means I've switched from plastic to glass. I got this. They had it marked as a Halloween decoration. It doesn't look like a Halloween decoration to me. And it was only 99 cents, and after the discount, I think it was 85 cents. I just thought he was kind of cute. Might match my bedroom. This little fake plant had been $3.25, and so it was $2.79 after the discount. And this container, I think it might have been for like utensils or something. It says mix, but it had a bunch of fake flowers in it. And they had marked it $4.25, so it was, or no, they had marked this one $5.25, and it was $4.47 after the 15% discount. I am looking for some stuff for my dad's, and I found one thing. I found this picture today. It's got a fox on it, and it's really nicely framed. It says Wild Kingdom Series Red Fox. And, you know, brand new, something like this, professionally framed like this. I don't know how much it would cost. $200 probably, at least, just to frame it. I took something in to be framed. I didn't ask how much it would cost, and I regretted it because it was just a small picture, very small, like an 8 by 10, and it cost like, I don't know, $45, $50 to frame that thing. If I'd known it was going to cost that much, I wouldn't have done it. But anyway, so I know something this big would cost a lot just to frame. And I thought maybe it would look good in my dad's office or man cave. It is a pretty picture, and it is a really nice frame. So anyway, how much do you think I paid for this? Let's look on the back. Can't remember. It had been $5.25. With the discount, it was $4.47. So well worth $4. And hopefully my dad will like it. Well, good morning, friends. It's Crazy Cheap Chick. And if you subscribe to me, then you know that I have not posted a video in I don't know how long, 4 or 5 weeks. The reason is my mother passed away on October 26th. And since most of the people who subscribe to me are probably over 55, maybe you've lost your mom, and you know how hard it is. And I'm going to try to get through this video without crying. I don't know if I can because it's not been long enough. And what happened is in October, my mom was diagnosed with colon cancer. Now, she already had one form of cancer called polycythemia vera, which is a blood cancer. And she made the decision to have a colon resection and have that portion of diseased colon removed. And at first, things looked good. She came out of the surgery okay, but then she just started going downhill. And her death certificate listed renal failure as the cause of death. But really, it was a lot of things. In fact, I got so sick of hearing the term in the hospital, multifactorial, meaning there were just so many problems. Not only the polycythemia vera, not only the colon cancer, but in the last year, she'd had a heart attack. She'd had a hematoma. She'd had pneumonia. She was 81. And so in my mind, she probably just wasn't strong enough to survive the surgery. She lived 17 days after the surgery, and she was in a lot of pain. And it's been a hard time. It's been a really hard time. And even since her death, it's been hard because my sister lives out of state. She lives in California. And so there's a lot of things, everything had to be done before she goes back to her home. And so we're in the midst of getting my mom's house cleaned out, which is an extremely difficult and emotional job. And we found a lot of things that made us laugh. A lot of things that were just her personality. And we've had each other, me and my sister. I have 3 kids. They've all been a tremendous help to me as well. And I felt so surrounded by love from friends during this time. I didn't even know I had so many friends. I knew I had a fair amount of friends, but the way my friends took care of me just touched my heart. And of course, the biggest thing that got me through it was prayer and having a relationship with God, having faith that I will see her again. But on this video, I didn't just want it to be a video of me crying or being sad. I wanted to tell you a story about my mom. And this is a story from when she was a little kid. Her dad was a farmer, pretty big farmer. And he had gone in to buy some new farm implement. I don't know what it was. But there were a bunch of toy tractors at the implement dealer. And I think my mom said she was like 4 or 5. And of course, she's a cute little girl. And the dealer gave her a toy tractor. Because she was with her dad when he bought it. And she was excited. And then she goes, "But I have a brother." And he goes, "Oh, okay. So he gave her a second tractor. And then she goes, "And I have another brother." And she said, "But the tractor stopped at 2. He was only willing to give away 2 tractors." Of course, my mom and uncles played with these tractors, but they were still at my grandma's house when I was growing up. Well-built tractors. And now I own them because my mom got them when my grandparents died, and now I have them. And the way that we've done it is my sister and I, we pretty much agreed, like, do you want this? No. Do you want this? No. And so things that were important to one of us that weren't important to the other, we just let the other person take it. But there were some things that both of us kind of wanted. And we took all of those things and we put them on the bed, and then we just took turns. You know, I think we drew a card to see who went first, and then we just went every other person picking until that pile was gone. And it worked pretty good. We didn't have any disputes or fights. And it is so hard cleaning out someone's house, though. So many memories. I mean, a lot of crying, a lot of hugging, a lot of, just feeling extremely sad. And there's no way to avoid that because the person is gone and you really miss them. But we found some really funny things too. And so I will be showing you those things as we go along and telling you some stories about my mom. But anyway, that's why I haven't posted, but I will start posting again soon as we get my mom's house done. And also working on my dad's house and finishing it up because we've got to get him in there. Anyway, that's why I haven't been posting. I've been totally overwhelmed between my mom being in the hospital so long and being with her, and then cleaning out this house and doing all the legal things that have to be done when someone dies. It hasn't even been a month yet. And so I feel very, very privileged to have had my mother until I was 61 years of age. A lot of people don't get that much time with their mom. And I loved her immensely. She was a really good mom. So many people didn't get a good mom, and I got a really, really good mom, and I'm just really going to miss her. If you still have your mom, tell her you love her. give her a hug, and spend as much time as you can with her, because that time will come to an end. That's all your mom really wants from you. And I regret that I wasn't able to spend more time with my mom over the last year. Anyway, that's why I haven't been posting, but I will start posting again soon. I haven't really done any shopping here recently because friends brought so much food that we were eating that. We've ate out quite a bit while working on Mom's house because it was just too difficult to cook. And I've been eating things that I had in the freezer, so I kind of ate down a lot of my stocks because I just haven't been to the grocery store that much. And this grocery trip that's on this video, I think was from like a month ago when she was right before she went in the hospital or had just gone in the hospital. I can't remember. When this happened, when Mom died, I thought about quitting. I thought, you know, is it really worth it? I don't have that many subscribers. I don't make that much money. It's just kind of a fun little hobby. I have so much else to do. Maybe this would be a good time to let it go. But I think I've decided to continue on. And so if you enjoy my videos, this is a time I could really use those likes, comments, and shares, because if you're not getting that, it's really easy to give up, and especially when you're going through a lot. So if you want to continue to see the videos, comments help me out, and so do likes. And those hypes, I don't even know how to do that. Some people hype me, and I'm not even sure I know how to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great week.